Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Wednesday, July 27th. So, yeah, we've got two counts going on, one bearish and one corrective, like this one here with Apple. So where's my Apple sign? There it is. So I'll just bring that into the fold. So, I think I might just use the SPY. So before I do that, the move up here with Apple, it does appear to be in 5 waves, so that's quite healthy for looking for an A and a B and a C wave to the upside. We have to be a little bit careful though, just in case something weird happens, in case we got some sort of A, B and C here, but difficult to get a B wave out of this particular situation, but we just need to be mindful all the time. Let's just bring, I'm going to bring the SPY across instead of the NASDAQ because, and this is the ETF here, just because it's a little bit cleaner. So there's two counts going on in the markets. First of all, we've got this wave 1 down here and wave 2 up here, and if that's the case, we've got this bigger bearish picture which is going to come down through here. And the other count is that we look at this as the A wave here and ABC for the B wave here, and then up for the C wave here to make wave A. And then from wave A here, we pull back into wave B here in 3 waves as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming back into this space here. And then from this point, then we have a C wave to the upside, so a larger A, B and C wave. And I kind of like that because some stocks that are quite sort of obvious, like Berkshire and Hathaway, right from the top of the market right down to the bottom, they have a very clear 5 wave structure down, so they would really need to rally back up 50 or 60%, and they're not there yet for that. So there are cases like that that we can put forward to represent this A, B, C pattern up here. Once this C wave finishes though, then we'll be going down into new lows at that point. Okay, so but the other count is having this as wave 2 here and then having a big bear market coming down. And so obviously in that case as well, I have also been talking about being short in the indices, in terms of being short here with a stop here or here, depending on how you trade. So I was also short here as well, not on the ETF but on the futures. So but I've taken my position out at this current low here, and there will be another, so it looks like will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for the A wave, then an ABC. So I will re-enter back over here, and we'll talk about that further. I just didn't see the point in carrying a loss in this point here, so I can use my profit to sell more at that point. So it is interesting though. So in both cases, will be in both counts. Both of the counts that I have will be following this this pathway down here. It's just that one of them, after 5 waves to this point, will turn up, and after we get to 5 waves here, we'll also turn up as well for the bearish one. So we won't know which is which, but they'll both go 5 waves down here, then they'll both move up. One will keep going and one will come down at that point. So once again, I will probably trade down to this point here, get out, and then just wait for the setup to either go short or to go long at that point. So that will be just a little bit of a blind spot in here for a little while, but rest of it should be pretty smooth. Now, the thing is that stocks would do the same as well, because obviously stocks are driving this. So with the stocks that we're looking at, I thought we may have had another little high in for most stocks, but I'm putting the high in now for all of those stocks, and in that case we'll be looking for the same thing. We'll be looking for an A and a B and a C wave down and then a move to the upside, but at the same time, not today or anything, but we can just follow this path today. but a bit later on we'll need to have a clearer understanding of how we're going to approach this situation in here, because this will be crossroads. One will be going up and the other count will be going down at that point. So this is the critical one over here. So yeah, like I said, I got most of this in here. Because I'm in Australia, it's hard to keep, it's hard to, I mean, I just do day trading really on the S&P a little bit, if I'm, why I'm doing the charts, why I'm working, but it's not really my thing. But if this turns bearish over here, well then my day trading for the S&P will turn into trend trading, a totally different approach. But I will short down to this leg, I will get out, and then I'll look for another setup here, and if it does occur here, then I'll be holding for much longer at that point. The other point here too is that with stocks is that if this is wave 1 here and 2 here, it's part of a bigger 1 2 1 2, so it's really the third of the third of the third. And then this here will be interesting too, because this here will also be 1 and 2 here as well. So there'll be four wave 2s at this point. So it could move quite quickly here if that's the case. So it'll be interesting to see how this moves. With stocks as well, as a C wave will be on a bit of an angle. As a third wave, it will be a little bit more powerful than this wave 1 here. So it will show up in the personality of the structure, basically. So that's sort of where we are. We've got those two things going on, but in the meantime, it should all be pretty straightforward in pulling back lower in these markets. So with that in mind, we can look at Apple like this, but we're looking at the A wave coming down. We'll take a closer look at that, of course. It's not finished yet, and then we'll look at the B and the C wave down. So this can move up at that point, but also we'll need to work out that we could also come down at that point too. So just as I mentioned on the SPY, so we need to be a little bit mindful of all of this. And just I'm going to try, as I always do, I try to move with the evidence. I lay different counts out, and staying with the evidence pretty much stops you being emotional at that point, and stops you, because the emotions will get you into trouble. You end up over trading and doing all sorts of things. So on this case, let's just go into the 1000 and the 100, or this will do the trick here. So yeah, so we can call this wave A in here, and then we're looking for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. It's going to, I think there's one more little move here, so we've got 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Maybe that's the 4 here. Maybe that's 1 2 3 4 5. That's the third wave. There should be a little bit more. There'll be a rally of wave 4, and I'll just go back to the SPY actually, just even though it doesn't trade in the off hours and the markets are closing. So hit the 390. So I've got 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here, and then all of the third, and I'm happy. It doesn't look very nice as the third wave here, but on the futures it counts down nicely. I did check that quite clearly. So 4 5, so we're at the bottom of this wave 3 here. So this is the wave 4, and then the wave 5 coming down into this area here. So that's where we're at the moment. So most of the stocks will be like that. Okay, so we'll sort of drag them and pull them screaming into that particular pattern. So we can look at it something like this here, and about a nice bounce off the 150 here, and then we can look at this being the 50-60% retracement level coming back up into this space. So this will be, if we get 5 waves here, right, then I'll turn this box here green and we'll look to short it at that point. But we'll need that 5 waves to be able to sell at that point. If we don't sell in that box, then we'll need to take the safer version of this, and this will be the ABC pattern coming up here, and then we'll end up shorting under here to make it safer, and then under here as well with the classic trading levels pattern on the short side over here, which will be like this. If that's the 150, we'll come down, bounce off it, go through it, come back and check it. Most of the time it will come back above the level, but working from the low for the entry, and then the entry here, and if it goes back above, that's okay, it'll come back down again. It'll also give you another little classic trading, this big pattern here will be rolled up in if this moves back above the level and comes down, it will be rolled up in here again, so you do the same thing again. Okay, so I won't go right into the intraday with that, we'll just sort of move along. Nvidia, the same thing as well, as an A wave, a B wave, a C wave up here for the A wave, and then the A, the B and the C wave over here. So I won't get involved in any of this here today and so on, but tomorrow we'll be looking at how this is developed, and looking down on this side here. Once again, once this 5 waves finishes to wave C here, we should push up into wave C, but if we're wrong, then after 5 waves down here, we'll push up into something like this here, and then we'll come down, and we'll need to be mindful of that and look for that short. So we could trade this leg. I don't think we should get involved in this too much unless you're an intraday, you know, unless you're doing sort of half a dozen trades a day or a dozen trades a day or something in markets, then it's not your game. Amazon, so from the low we've got the A, the B and the C wave for the A wave, and then the 5 waves down here, 1, 2, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd, 4th, 5th for the A, and then the ABC for the B, and then we'll go down for the C, which may take us a bit lower, but we'll just keep that trend line in there for the time being. So we'll look to short over at the B wave here, and we'll see how far we get. We'll take those 5 waves down, we'll take most of the money off the table, we'll watch the bounce, because if this is down for 1 and back for 2 and down for 1 and back for 2, then we'll need to be we'll definitely need to be short under here after that, but we also need to be looking to go long as well. So we need to be very we need to be flexible, we need to be practical, and we need to be steady, and that's what we'll do. So Meta platforms. So Meta platforms and Microsoft have kind of got their own little things going on, as well, especially this one here. Now, if we consider that the markets in general are doing this down for the A wave and then for the B wave and then the C wave here, that kind of movement, then we can expect that across the board here. So this movement here, this movement and this movement here. So that's what this will play out here. Now, I've had 2 counts for this. So one of the counts has been this one here, where I could probably still do this. Still need to get back up over here with it. This would I kind of like this in a way, but I'm just not quite sure how to handle this at the moment. It'll be something like this. Okay, I've got too many objects on the chart now. So, and then I move to the upside. Just going to remove some objects over here, so I've got a bit of that would do, I think, for the time being. And the other one that I've got for this on the 2-day chart is a little bit more different, and this could also play out in the same vein as well. Probably I haven't adjusted this for a long time, but this would probably be a bit closer down here for that, and then this would be over here for that. Something like that here. So looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave, a 4th wave and a 5th wave. So that would also play out quite nicely. They both would be fine. So I'm just not quite sure which is the best one at this point. Right, so this one here, I need those. I'll just keep things to a minimum. So Tesla. So I've put my wave 4 back here, which was an old count that I had. It's just that when it was looking to go too far up here, I sort of removed it. But I'm just going to keep it there a little bit, because Tesla and Google have kind of been moving the same, not since the split they've been different, but through all of this here they've been the same. So I've got Google as a wave 4 here, but so we could have a wave 3, 4 here, and that would just bring us all the way down for that bearish picture thing. But otherwise, we'll just look for this. So this will be 5 waves here. Currently, it's only 3, so we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here. So we'll have that wave 4 and 5 here, then the B wave, which we can look to short, and then down for the C wave. So we can trade that down, and this move here will take us up at that point, but at the same time we can have an ABC rally at that point and end up moving lower at that stage. So we'll need to be a little bit mindful of that. And if I go to the I think it's also a 2-day chart here. This was the pattern that we're looking at. I was actually looking for another little high here, and we may get that because you can kind of see that a nice 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 moving up, as I mentioned before, but it's not giving it to us. It's moving in lots of 3, so it's just made it a little bit tricky. But anyway, well, this is basically where we're at here. The other thing here is that this could be wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and then looking all of this as a wave 4 and then down for wave 5. So that's also possible as well. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But either way, you know, with all of these markets, once the first 5 waves come down, which they're just about there now, then we'll have the ABC. So then we'll be looking to short. You know, the top that retracement here in all cases. So anyway, we'll just continue to work through it. It shouldn't be a real problem having 2 counts. They're both in the same fashion. So this is the daily chart for Alphabet, and the spike high here makes it a little bit sort of dubious of, you know, do we use that as the high, the spike, or should we be over here with that? But even besides that, either way, this move down through here, if I don't worry about that at the moment, this move down here will give us wave 1 and ABC for 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in here for the third wave. So this is why I was looking at Tesla as being a possible wave 4. It's got the sort of same but different. Tesla had this other move up through to here, and I've got the wave 4 for Tesla sitting over here. But in this case here, there's a good case that we could come down for wave 5 in this move. Now, we haven't been looking at trading this. This is also possible to have that low in here and still look for the AB, have all of this here as part of a thing over here with the rest of the markets, but it's out by itself. I'll just see how it lands here. I don't particularly want to short it into such a big number because I know that we're going to get a bounce off it, so I'm just going to continue to monitor this one for a while. And Microsoft, I've taken the count off here for this particular chart here because it just doesn't have really nice sort of structures. I can see some of them, and in a lot of the cases we would have to look at this whole pattern as a WXY, but I just don't know if I want to go there just yet. But in the meantime, what I can say is that it's following all the other markets, so we can look at this as 5 waves down here for 1 and 2, and a nice third wave coming down. So we're going for a 4th wave here that will bounce back a bit higher, and then a 5th wave down. So we'll have 5 waves down here, and then we're going to have an ABC pattern at that point. And then we'll have another 5 down. Now, we could trade this one down here. We'll give that some consideration. You can see how squarely it's sitting on this level, 250 here, the medium level. So really, if we were going to short that, we want it as the resistance here. So once the market comes through, a bit like this, once the market comes through here, we can use that low to short on. We can bring it up to that low, and there may be another low that we could use it on. All that's part of the same trend, so that doesn't matter. So not so much on this one here, but on the next one through here, or maybe in through here on this one, we could do something over here for that, just in case it is bearish. But at the moment, it's sitting on this level, so it's got support here at the moment. So we would need to see it on the flip side here. We would need to see we'd need to see a decent retest to take that out and then move down. So basically the normal, because it's going to go back above the level here, it'll be like this pattern here. So it will come down through the level, it'll go back up above it, and then it will come down. So this is where we'll catch it over here for this, if it's going to come down further. If it's going to come down in, if this is going to come down in a big way here, which is possible, you know, I've got a count that takes us back up to here with the other markets, and so that's my problem. I can't get a proper enough grip on which is the right one at this point. So when I don't understand the wave count, I just revert back to the price, which is the trading levels, and I just look for setups. So we're at this level, which is fantastic, and it looks quite weak because we're getting those lower highs coming into play. We've also got these things going on here, so it's kind of diminishing into a point, but we'll pick it up. We'll eventually get it when it comes over here. Having a wave count or no wave count, it doesn't really matter for me. We'll end up getting it, and we'll know the general gist of the market as well, in terms of where you know, where the NASDAQ and the S&P and that are going. So it just hasn't really performed. It hasn't really lifted off very high like any of the other markets. So it's really sort of under a lot of pressure. So any bearish move, it would probably be one of the better stocks to trade short, because it's just it's kind of waiting to go short, you know. Also too, this, I suppose we could get 5 waves out of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and we'll see how that sits. But once that moves down here, that will put that as a corrective wave. This move up here, you could look at it as a corrective wave. This is an ABC here. This is also corrective at this point. You could look at this one as corrective as well. So they're all pretty, that's 5 waves. So as I mentioned before, this one here was a bit concerning because I could count this one as 5 waves and this one as 5 waves. This one here could be counted probably corrective or impulsive. And now we're getting this one here. So basically in a nutshell, we're getting this is impulsive, this is impulsive, this is impulsive, this will be impulsive. So it's kind of pointing to the downside, but I don't have the setup yet for it. But I think it would be quite a good one, even though I don't understand the count that clearly at this point. So Berkshire Hathaway, with this one here, if we just go back to the beginning, this is the top, obviously, you know, going back. So to me, it's always been a pretty clear count of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I have gone over this in detail, so I'm comfortable with that. And then down for wave 5. I mean, you could have it as an A wave here and a B wave and a C wave here, excuse me. But if that's the case, if that is 5 waves down here, then we'd want the market to come back up at least to the wave 4 here, or at least to 3, retest the 300. This is the 50-60% retracement level. So we're kind of a long way from that, you know, so that's why, you know, another reason why I think that we're still climbing and that we're just in a corrective move at the moment. We'll be looking for, you know, the A, the B and the C here. Not interested in trading this to the downside. It won't want to come down that much. Probably stay on the trend line. This is the 50-60% here, and then have that one more leg to the upside, you know, for wave C of B, and then come down based on those 5 waves. So I think that's a pretty sort of reasonable sort of you know, comment to make about this, you know, having this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I mean, you probably could look at it, I guess, as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, something like that. That's possible as well. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it, but that's my thinking at this point. I don't see. It's not one of the shorting stocks at this point anyway. You know, there's better ones to short. So with Square here, I thought we may have had another move up here, but I've got to go back to my old thing. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. And then coming down here, we're looking for the same as well. We've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we don't need to worry about too much here. We'll look for the B wave to come into play. and then there'll be the C wave coming in. We also need to be, I mean, I can count 5 waves down here for this market as well. Didn't start at the same time. The move down did not start at the same time as Berkshire Hathaway did, but much before that, a long time before that. So it's kind of it's out there on its own, this one. So we also will need to prepare for a more of a bearish picture to the downside after that as well. But we'll see how it looks and what level it's at, and it's at the medium level so far. We'll see how it's sitting, but definitely need to short it under here, and definitely need to go long on the other side of the fence with all of this. So anyway, we'll just allow it to play out further. They will come into a corner, and then we'll know. But we'll probably know before we get to this particular point if we're going to go down or up at that point. We'll probably have a good feeling of the market before that occurs, but we'll stay with the evidence, and we'll try to do everything at the right time for that. Just clean a few objects off the charts we don't really need. That can stay there. That's all good. Okay, over to the banks. So with the banks, BAC, I need to call the top in here as well. You could probably count this up differently. You could probably look at all of this as wave 1 and 2 here, then 3 and 4 and 5. It's a little bit dodgy, whichever way you want to look at it. But this over here, the 17th of June, was the low for most stocks. But as I've mentioned before, banks have made this other low here, and it's made it in 3 waves. So it's a good case for having as an A and a B and a C wave here. And in this case, we've got the A wave here. We're looking for a B wave and then a C wave up here. Once again, we'll also need to be mindful as well. We can look to short once those 5 waves have finished here, and we expect the market to go up. We simply just need to go short under those 5 waves. It'll be that simple. But what we'll try to do is get a better position over here for that and build in down that side, or we'll be looking to build into the long side. So that should take us up. There should be some equality in terms of length between wave A and wave C here. So yeah, look, I think that even though we've got 2 counts and we have to choose one of them at the end of the day, it'll be quite clear. So we're not going to miss much, that's for sure. It'd just be the same with Morgan's here as well. We're looking for 5 waves down, the B wave and the C wave here. We can look to short this down if you like. And the same with Goldman's as well. I haven't got it labelled here, but the A, the B and the C wave here for this. Yeah, so that's where we are with everything. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.